Yes, lovely people. I hope you're well. Welcome back to another edition of Combat Catch Up. Delighted to be joined by my partners in crime, as always, Jamie Phillips from Jamie Phillips Football Chats and Luke Tanner from Luke Tanner. Boys, it's almost here. UFC 299. We're going to Miami, just like Will Smith sang. And it is Vera versus it's Vera versus O'Malley 2, or should I say O'Malley versus Vera 2. So we're going to be touching on that, but not in too much detail, because straight after this we're going to be doing a UFC 299 preview on Luke's channel, so make sure you check that out. We are going to speak about the massive KO, chaos as they're calling it, fight between Anthony Joshua and Francis Ngannou that takes place this Friday. Conor McGregor wants a trilogy fight with Nate Diaz after he fights Michael Chandler and is getting extremely frustrated with his lack of activity. Not to mention, we'll be speaking about Makayev's next fight and more. Boys, how are we doing?
Feeling good.
I'm really good right now because I just had a picture pop up on my feed for some reason. I do a looper, so I'm really good.
Well, one kiss is all it takes, yeah.
Man of culture.
Man of culture. Get
the soundboard to that on
it. So, guys, let's start with 299. And again, as I said, I'm not going to go into too much detail because we're going to really chop it up on Luke's channel. But is this the card potentially of the year? Now, obviously, we know up to 300, 301 a little bit. Is this the card of the year, though? Because everyone's been moaning about 300, especially the main event. 299 was very good. But this one, you look at the fights, it starts with Peter Yan and Song Yadong. You've got MVP versus Kevin Holland. You've got Poirier versus Saint-Denis. You've got the main event, which is O'Malley Vera. In the prelims, you've got Gelton Almeida versus Curtis Blades. Guys, is this the best card of the year, or will it end up being the best card of the year? Jamie, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I think it probably has got on. There's not even a bad matchup on this card, is there? Every fight has got potential to be fight of the night, in my opinion.
Not for me, no.
It's interesting, man. I actually think every match on this card is best till you get to the main event.
You took the words right out my mouth.
I think the main event's the weakest match on this card.
It is the worst match on the card.
Oh, you guys aren't feeling the main event, no?
No, not at all. No. Not at all. Like, I'm not feeling this one bit. They have massively stacked the rest of the card. Like massively stacked the rest of the card. The prelims look great. The main card looks superb. But when you look at the main event, because we all know when we've watched meaty cards and the main event's been superb, sort of covers over the fact that the rest of the main card was a bit dead. I just got a feeling that main event's going to be dead, and then we're going to be slagging off 299 thinking, oh my, really? Like Sean O'Malley, it's not put in a star-making performance, and this card's a bit dead. And then people are going to have to say, hold on, the rest of the cards were superb. It's this one that let us down. And so I agree with Jamie. The main event looks the weakest on the card because they are so desperate to make Sugar Sean O'Malley a star. And it's failing. Because I saw a podcast clip of him saying that he would have edged a fight against Prime McGREGOR at 145.
Did he? What? When did Sugar say this?
Different type of green stuff over in America. The fact that he'd edge a match of Prime McGREGOR at 45 is delusional.
All right, hold that thought there for a sec, though, bro. So one thing I think I've started to notice with O'Malley, he's very much a very good troll. He knows he will say certain things and people will bite on it and they'll react to it. Could this be one of those situations? Because let's be real, you've just brought it up. We're now talking about it. That means his name's in the news, attached to the biggest name in MMA. Could that not just be very smart marketing from him?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Because if you want to get your name out there, you mentioned the McGregor, you mentioned the Red Panty Knight, instantly gets traction. And when I saw that, I thought, no. Listen to it. And I was like, Oh damn! He actually said it. Yeah, Football Gossiper. Yeah, I told you to watch the PPD podcast. Yeah, I listen to that podcast as much as I can. Sugar Sean literally said that. It's crazy.
Oh, you know what? I admire his confidence. Prime McGregor at 45 would have torn him to shreds, but I admire the confidence. That version of Conor McGregor was one of the hungriest fighters I've seen in my life. He was an absolute he was amazing.
And his skill set. I think we forget how good Conor McGregor was because what we see now.
Yeah,
his skill set was different, man. His skill set was different. I still think he gave Khabib one of the best fights Khabib's had in UFC as well. With a 2-year layoff and being drunk and not really working out.
No, it's fat.
I'd have to say probably Dustin got the closest to finishing Khabib with the choke, but McGregor probably did the best overall.
Yeah.
But that was literally the only thing Dustin did in that fight, to be fair. He rocked him, got this guillotine, did nothing with it.
I've always said if McGregor never had that boxing fight, I think he'd still be champion there.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know.
I think we'd have definitely seen the best of him in there. But we'll get to McGregor in a minute. UFC 299. What fight on the card, Luke? I'll start with you on this one. Do you think will be the fight of the night, or the main card, should I say?
The fight of the night
don't give your prediction away. Just literally the fight you think is going to be the fight that steals the headlines.
Kevin Holland versus Michael Venom Page.
Good shout.
Because I like the way that what they've done with Michael Venom Page so far. They've matched him against the guy that he should beat in Kevin Holland. If he gets a convincing win, he's already talking about wanting to face Leon for the belt and stuff like that. It's very easy. Plus, he is in his mid 30s.
Yeah.
So he'll get the rocket strapped real quick. Because a Brit versus a Brit fighting in England for the belt. That's money right there. So
I'm not gonna go into it too deep. I'll be honest, if Edwards still has the belt and MVP gets to fight him for the belt, I still wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't in England.
I'll be in the Apex just to annoy everyone.
Could you imagine? With no fans, could you
imagine?
imagine?
Just goes, hey, Zuckerberg, we're gonna get you in. We're gonna make you walk out with Edwards.
Could you
looking like a spare part?
Jay, over to you. Which fight do you reckon is going to be the one that steals the headlines?
Jack Delia and Gilbert Burns.
Oh, JDM's boxing is crisp. My only issue for him is going to be the takedowns.
I think that could be. I think that could be fight. I think that could be the one to watch at the sleeper, or a young, hungry Benoit against a bloke who's pretty much given up now, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Dustin Poirier.
I think people are sleeping on Gilbert Burns because of his last performance, but everyone forgets he tore his shoulder in that and still did 5 rounds. Guys,
I'm looking forward to that.
That's a great shout.
Yeah, plus got a rematch. Piotr Jan versus Song Yudong. There's a little bit of a rivalry there.
Yeah. And Jan, I mean, yeah, it's so crazy because Jan, when you look at his record, he's won in the last 5. But one was the disqualification loss to Aljo. Second was a close loss to Aljo. Close loss to O'Malley. And then he fought Morab, who we've now found out has got 16 lungs instead of 2. So it's like, he's literally lost to 1, 2, and 3 in the division, and some people are saying he's washed, and that's crazy. He just fought the best and narrowly lost to 2 and then got blitzed by the third person. So I'm looking forward to it. UFC 299. We'll be doing a watch long for that. Hopefully the prelims as well. So we'll see. Hopefully get a few guests on as well. So Luke,
long night, is it?
Yeah,
long night.
No, I'm gonna try and get some guests. So hopefully you guys don't have to do the full shift with me. So
I'll do the full thing. Don't worry about that. Gets me out of the hair, everyone. I'm good.
Yeah, I've been told that.
I'll switch this computer on. I'll be with you all night, man.
Bless you guys. Smash the like button if you haven't already, guys. In the description of this video, click the links, one to Luke's channel, one to Jamie's channel. Make sure you subscribe. Right, let's move on to the next topic. Massive boxing match this Friday. And if someone had said a year ago that Francis Ngannou would be fighting Anthony Joshua off the back of in my opinion, beating Tyson Fury, even though he didn't get the nod, many people would have laughed, as the narrative going around at the time was still that Ngannou had literally fumbled the bag. Left the UFC, he bet on himself, and he's won the 2 biggest prizes in boxing, maybe in boxing history from a financial standpoint. The fight against Tyson Fury, he knocked him down, in my opinion, won the fight, but it was still a good fight, a competitive fight. Now he goes in against a knockout artist, Anthony Joshua, who many people say is not the same Anthony Joshua as the one who beat Charles Martin, beat Klitschko. 2 knockout artists going against each other. Jay, how you feeling about this fight that's about to happen in Saudi?
Comfortable. AJ's just got put on a masterclass.
You think?
Yep. I like quiet AJ. I prefer quiet AJ than noisy AJ. Noisy AJ is when he's at his worst. Quiet AJ is when he's at his best, in my opinion.
He has been fairly quiet, to be fair to him.
And I think a quiet AJ does the job. I think he does. I don't think he knocks Ngannou out. So I don't think Lord Almighty can knock him out. But you know, I just think he outpoints him. I just think he outpoints him. He's the pro boxer. He's the better boxer. He's got the better footwork. He doesn't need to go in there and knock him out. I think AJ. I actually think Ngannou's going to be looking for the knockout because he's talking so much about it. And I think against Tyson Fury, he said that Tyson Fury's recovery worried him because he's seen him get knocked out almost before and come back from the dead and still win fights. So he didn't want to burn himself out. But I don't think he thinks AJ's got a chin. So I think Ngannou's going to go for it. And I think because of that, it could open him up to some mistakes because he isn't a pro boxer at the end of the day.
Very true. Jay makes some great points, Luke. Do you agree or disagree?
Yeah, I can probably the smart money is to have AJ win on points because I don't think AJ is gonna have risk going for the knockout to leave himself exposed for him to get clipped. But I've just got a feeling that Francis is gonna get the job done because this ain't the same AJ before we fought Andy Ruiz the first time, the fat little Mexican that put it on him and made him quit. And then since then, he is obviously he beat Ruiz, made it a simple, jabbed and moved, and then didn't he fight Povetkin afterwards, which he
beat Povetkin.
Sort of laboured but knocked him out late. And then he just got outclassed by Usyk in 2-1, very one-sided bouts, and then sort of lost his head a bit, and then fought 2 meaty opponents where he struggled, and then he knocked out Otto Wallin, which Tyson Fury really nearly lost against.
Yeah, I mean that fight against Otto Wallin should have actually been stopped for a cut.
Yeah, but I just got this feeling because since that Ruiz fight, AJ doesn't really want to get engaged, risk getting hurt because I think mentally he's still worried that if he gets caught, he could go out, sort of thing. When some fighters think, I can get caught, yeah, can shake that off. But I think for him, I think he really worries. And I've seen some of the stuff. Yes, he's been quiet, Jamie. I think he knows that he's under so much pressure. He's under so much pressure because for me, AJ is not a better boxer than Tyson Fury, even though we saw Tyson Fury put on a disaster class against Ngannou. AJ's got very basic boxing fundamentals. And Francis has got even more basic boxing fundamentals. I back Ngannou that if he lands on that chin, AJ's going to get flashbacks going, shit. I remember when I was in this position and it was by a fat little Mexican. Now I've got this African giant going for his chin. And I think Francis is going to get a late KO. A late KO. Yeah, I just got this feeling that it's going to be Francis doing the Ali pose over AJ.
Could be incredible.
Complete.
I'm going to show you guys a tail of the tape. So, AJ's 34 and Ngannou's 37. Not a massive age difference between the two. Joshua is actually taller than Ngannou. However, Ngannou's got the bigger reach. If I'm also to be inclined to think this way. I also think NGANNOU comes in heavier than Joshua as well.
It'd be very interesting to see what weight Joshua weighs at, because if he weighs like a lot less, then you're going to know what his game plan is going to be. It's going to be jab and move. But if he comes in heavy,
I think he has to come in heavy for this.
And quite lean.
Yeah, very true. He is lean. I still think he'll come in pretty heavy. I think at least 17 stone. I think he comes in at least 17 stone. The thing with AJ, and this is why I'm leaning towards NGANNOU. Everything you said, Jay, I hear. And you're right. He's a better boxer than NGANNOU. If this is just who's the better boxer, it's easily AJ. Just like it was easily Fury. But to beat, you've got to almost be perfect against NGANNOU for 12 rounds. In the same way, you have to be perfect against Wilder for 12 rounds, unless you're going to go in there and have a firefight with him, which is what Fury had to do. The difference with Fury and Joshua is Fury can have a firefight because his chin is tried and tested. I'm a massive AJ fan. His chin is a lot better than people give him credit for, but it's nowhere near as good as Fury's. And when you're stood in front of the man who's got the record hardest punch without boxing gloves, and then you put boxing gloves on that person with pillow pads, who can now put even more force behind those punches.
Not worrying about kicks or about anything else.
Not worried about anything else. Plus, inside boxing as well, I think it's going to favor NGANNOU just as much as Joshua, because he's used to close circuit fighting. The holding and posturing and all that, NGANNOU's going to be fine with that. I think Joshua has to knock him out to win this fight. I don't think he can let it go all the rounds, because if he does, I think he gets caught at least once, and all it takes with NGANNOU is one. And I
don't think NGANNOU would win this on points. Boxing is not going to let NGANNOU win on points.
I don't think either of these two are going to
knock AJ out to get a win.
This fight ain't going 10 rounds, in my opinion. Either AJ stops NGANNOU or NGANNOU stops AJ. I don't see how it goes. Like, they're both too vicious to not let this go 10 rounds. To let this go 10 rounds.
NGANNOU, Derek Lewis, and then we saw how that ended up.
I think the Fury fight has done AJ a favour, personally. I think that Fury fight's done AJ a favour because he knows what he's coming into.
That's a fair.
He knows what he's coming into. And for him to take this fight when he didn't need to take this fight, AJ did not need to take this fight at all. He could have sat at home. But he watched that fight and he wants to take it. Obviously, it's going to make a lot of money. Partly what reason he's taking it. One, he wants to stay active, and there's no one else really available to fight right now at a level.
I'd have to say that if Wilder would have beaten Parker, I reckon it would have been AJ Wilder.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah.
And not gonna lie, hot take, NGANNOU's got better footwork as a boxer than Deontay Wilder, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree with
that.
And
if Wilder fought like NGANNOU did against Fury, Wilder would have beaten Fury. If he had the basic fundamentals like NGANNOU had.
Yeah. Wilder just believed in his power. He ain't got no footwork at all.
Which is understandable. What he possesses. But yeah, he didn't work on
It's going to be interesting. Look, for boxing, I want AJ to win, personally. I want to. I'll keep saying this. I believe it will be AJ Usyk 3, because I do think Usyk will beat Tyson Fury, because I think Fury's finished.
What, twice? You'll have to beat him twice.
I think Fury's finished. I think if Fury loses to Usyk, you won't see Fury again. There won't be no rematch. You won't see Fury again. He should have lost to NGANNOU. He loses to Fury, and I don't think he's as good as he once was. Fury, you can see it in him. Too many excuses with Fury fanboys about him.
Saudi's getting annoyed by him as well.
Yeah,
and he's annoying the people in Saudi. They're like, one chance and we're done with you, mate.
Yeah.
Another thing to all the Fury boys out there, the fanboys of Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury is not a draw. The NGANNOU fight proved it. No one turned up. No one cared. Yeah. There's more hype for this fight between NGANNOU and AJ than there was Fury and NGANNOU. And people hate the fact that AJ's a bigger draw than Tyson Fury, but it's just the truth.
Just wish it wasn't in Saudi. You would have sold more tickets if it wasn't in Saudi.
Yeah, I just feel like it's going to be one of the worst heavyweight fights we've ever seen. I think it's going to be boring. I think AJ knows what he's going in there to do. He's going to just sit in the pocket and just jab. Sit in the pocket and jab. That's all he's going to do. He's not going to come forward. He's going to let NGANNOU do the forward running. He's just going to be back foot, jab, 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 and get a point victory that way. He's not going to get in close and try and test. He's not going to get in close. There's no way in hell.
It'd be stupid to do that.
He's going to get in close and let NGANNOU. Look, Francis is a great fighter, great combat sportsman. He just ain't got the footwork. In all the training, he just ain't got the footwork yet to compete with AJ. Yeah. You know, and with Fury, the Fury fight, I've gone back and watched that so many times. Fury was so flat-footed in that fight.
Yeah.
You know, he was stumbling. He had no movement. It made, I think, NGANNOU look a lot better. Yeah, so I think it'll be a boring heavyweight fight. But I think AJ will win it, and then he will wait for the winner of Fury Usyk next.
Interesting. Well, people, let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Will AJ get it done, or will NGANNOU continue this fairy tale story? Before we go to the next section, just going to play a short little promo video for you guys of a recent interview.
Absolutely. Jon Anik's one of the most underappreciated guys in the scene, hands down. I would say in MMA history. Like, the way that he has reinvented play-by-play for combat sports is just groundbreaking. You compare him to guys like Michael Chiavello, Mauro Ranallo. You look at Goldberg's style when he was running the show for, I think it was like 17 years or whatever. He was doing play-by-play for the UFC. What Anik brings to the table is so different and services the fighters so well. That's the key of what Jon Anik does, is he'll frame the storylines and the narrative and their struggles and triumphs in the most efficient and perfect way possible. And the word economy, I mean, he's not wasting any moments inside the booth. He'll be one that he's a guy that in interviews will always harp on how, we're live for 8 hours. Every single utterance is judged, critiqued, criticized beyond belief. So down to a word, this guy is hyper fixated on, nailing. So like that, just the level of professionalism is worlds above, I would say. And that's with respect to every other play-by-play. But I just hold Anik in a class of his own.
As an interview with Ben the Bane Davis, please make sure you check that out. But also, guys, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to plug 2 channels, guys, which by now you should have subscribed to. But we've got Luke's channel here, guys. He's sitting on 158 subs. Can we get up to 200 tonight? I mean, I think we should be able to. So let's get up to 200. We've also got Jamie's channel, which I'm going to bring up now when the system allows me to. Come on. There we go. Jamie is sitting on 5.2k. Guys, can we get up to 5.3k? Not asking for a lot, guys. These two sacrifice their time with family and friends to do this show, to help out. So please, the least we can do is go and support them, and do smash the like button on this video as well, guys. Right. The biggest name in, I'd probably say, I'm not going to say combat, I'll say definitely MMA, is obviously Conor McGregor. And he hasn't fought since that night where he broke his leg against Dustin Poirier in their 3rd encounter. Since then, he's come out numerous times saying he wants to fight. He came out on December, I think it was New Year's Eve, saying he's definitely fighting Chandler. I think he said it was going to be in June. Nothing seems to be happening there. He's come out saying he wants to fight Chandler and then wants to fight DIAZ in the trilogy. We have no idea when this Chandler fight happens, but let's say it happens International Fight Week, July or August. Would you guys, and let's say he wins, would you guys like to see him fight DIAZ for the trilogy? Luke, I'll start with you.
For him, probably yes, because he's not a championship level fighter anymore. So this is probably the next best option for him to go after the big names, the big fights. The trilogy is still definitely a massive fight, and it's definitely one that fans would want to see. I think the UFC could easily sell over 1 million pay-per-view buys, him and DIAZ 3. This is probably the right route for him. this tells me that he's now done as a championship level fighter. So any fights with Islam, with Gaethje, with Edwards, even fighting fighters at 45 coming up is done. This guy's after legacy fights only. And this sort of signals it with the fact that he wants to fight DIAZ in the trilogy, in the Sphere, I think it was. So, yeah, for me, this would be the right option. But, hey, it's up to Dana. Dana's just doing whatever he wants. Dana's doing Dana things. Yeah. So, God only knows. He's probably he'll still be banging on about this trilogy well into his 40s, because that's how likely it is that it's going to happen.
Jay, the first two McGregor-Diaz fights were massive. I'd arguably say the first fight changed the whole trajectory of the MMA landscape, especially UFC. They're both a lot older now. Both are out of their prime. Do you think it would still sell very well and still captivate the audience like the first two did?
Yeah, because it's Conor, ain't it? I mean, he could sell ice to an Eskimo, ain't that the same? I mean, he's just, yeah, look, he's Conor McGregor. I mean, the last two fights, I think Conor lost both of them personally, but
you think he lost number two as well?
I think the second fight was extremely close, man.
Yeah, it was close.
Extremely close. I think Nate's too big for him personally, but look, I personally think we're going to see Conor McGregor at WrestleMania, and that's where it's going to get promoted. And because we've already seen Thingy on Monday Night Raw, so I think they're going to do something at Mania that's going to promote this fight. It will happen. I think it will be the kickoff to the brand new merger of ESPN and Disney Sports franchise, and it'd be the first UFC main event on that. And then, I think, Conor. Look, I think Conor Diaz sells more tickets than any other title fight in UFC right now.
Facts. No one's getting even close to 1 million pay-per-view buys.
That's crazy.
Diaz, they don't need an undercard. You can just do that, and that will sell more tickets and more buy rates and more interest and more impressions than any title fight and challenger in UFC right now.
Do you think it sells more than Jones Aspinall?
Yeah,
Jones because UFC ain't done a good enough job telling everyone who Aspinall is.
Very true. I'm trying to think of light heavyweight. Yeah, I agree. There's no one Pereira sells tickets like that for. Middleweight, Adesanya Duplessis.
Nope, not even close. They'll be lucky to get 700, 800,000.
Yeah, Leon. Let's go, Leon. Nope. MVP.
Nope.
What about Makachev and?
Nope.
No one. You don't think so at all?
None of them are draws. UFC this is the problem. They're not draws.
Have sucked everything out of a star.
Yeah.
Because they want to control the stars. They're trying to push their own version of stars who aren't.
I've got one. Stars. Shout out to Football Gospel. I'm going to slightly change Football Gospels though. Hamzat and Adesanya.
Nope.
Hamzat's not a draw.
Hamzat's
I hate the burst Beatles bubble here. I really hate the burst Beatles bubbles here. I don't like to, but they're not draws. Leon, as much as we love him because he's a British fighter and he's fantastic, he's not a draw. He's terrible in the microphone. He can't sell tickets with his personality. They're not draws. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not being horrible, but they're not draws.
I completely agree, and I hate to say it. No champion in the UFC is a draw. No,
that's why you never. That's why you never pay-per-view sales no more.
Yeah, because no matter how many times the UFC tried to push like Sean O'Malley or Islam or Izzy, they're not a draw. And trust me, the UFC are doing their best to make their champions not be draws. Look what they're doing to Islam, claiming he's injured, but he's not actually injured. That's what they're doing to your champion.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And we're not dismissing these fighters either. These are all quality fighters.
They're all better fighters than Conor and Nate.
Because we're all super fans, so we're all going to watch it no matter what. And a load of other people, they might get 600,000-700,000 views. You know, tickets at like sell tickets at the door and have record gates every time Dana speaks about an event.
This is in
because
like
what he don't tell you, every time they have an event, the next ticket costs you 500 quid. You know what I mean? So that's what he don't tell you there. But you know, the quality fighters, and we will watch them, but they are not in that. They're not. It's the airport thing. I always say this. Some of these fighters, if they walk past you in an airport, you might have to look 3 times to realise who it might be. Conor McGregor walks into an airport, security's everywhere.
Yeah,
it's a different kind of star quality.
Yeah,
and we spoke about this last time. UFC ain't got it at the moment.
Yeah, and like I don't know if anyone saw the card this past weekend. I know we'll touch on one of the fighters. Tyson Pedro's retired because he can't afford it anymore.
No, that was apparently that was a joke. I know Jamie Pickett definitely has.
Yeah, like fighters are retiring because they can't afford it anymore.
That's crazy.
Creme de la creme. This is supposed to be your premier organization.
Yeah,
better than PFL, better than Bellator, whatever's going on over there. Talk about lack of star power in the UFC. Did anyone remember the Bellator PFL super event? Not me. I had to get reminded off of X that it was even on. So, you know, when fighters are saying that they can't afford it, and Dana's doing this, doing that,
Is there an argument to say then that the biggest UFC stars are now outside the UFC or not active? McGregor, Masvidal, Diaz, NGANNOU. Like, are we talking about 4 of the biggest stars who, if they were in the UFC, would be probably the biggest draws, and they're not even active or in the organization now?
Oh, I'd have to say, I have to be really, really harsh. NGANNOU wasn't a draw either.
I think they screwed NGANNOU over with the last.
Screwed him massively over.
It could have been a draw. Hey, Cal, I've got a list of the top 10 pay-per-views of all time. Do you want them?
Yeah,
like buy rates.
Yeah,
go.
Connor's got
number
about
10.
8, I'm guessing.
Yeah, number 10 is Aldo McGregor, 1.2 million pay-per-view buys, $80 million it made. That's at number 10.
Yeah. Crazy.
Number 9 is Usman Masvidal, 1.3 million, made 90 million pay-per-view buy, like 90 million.
Was that Usman Masvidal 1 or 2?
The 251. UFC 251, that was.
Yeah, that was 2. Yeah.
What, in Abu Dhabi?
No, that was the first. Yeah, remember, Luke, because remember, no one's doing anything else with their time. We're in the middle of the pandemic.
Damn.
Had a good card on it as well. It had a good card.
Yeah,
you had Holloway and Volk on it, didn't you? You had Aldo Yan.
Yes.
That was a lovely card.
That's a disgusting card, by the way.
Yeah, that was hard.
8th is Alvarez versus McGregor, 1.3 million pay-per-view buys. 7th is McGregor Cerrone, and nothing pay-per-view, made 1.3. Cerrone is 7th in this list because he fought McGregor. 1.3 million pay-per-views. 6 is McGregor Diaz, 1.5 pay-per-view buys. 5 is Lesnar Mir 2. All the way back at UFC 100.
Wow.
1.6. UFC 100 did 1.6 million pay-per-view buys. Back in
I don't think
all that time ago.
Going to do half of that.
Yeah. McGregor Poirier is 4, 1.6. Diaz McGregor 2 is 3rd, 1.6.5. 2nd is Poirier McGregor 3, 1.8 million. And number 1 is Nurmagomedov versus McGregor, 2.4 million buys.
Oh, Connor's destroyed pay-per-view. Oh, he's destroyed it.
And you just look at the people that he fought with. He got 1.3 million fighting Cerrone.
Yeah.
What fighter in UFC right now could go and fight someone like a Cerrone and get 1.3 million pay-per-view buys?
No one. And remember, not on that list is Floyd versus Conor.
Floyd versus Conor was 2 million, wasn't it?
I think it was more.
That's boxing, though. That's not the same as UFC, though.
Yeah, I know, but that's just showing his star power. He's gone to another sport and cleaned up over there.
Yeah, I believe only Mayweather Pacquiao beat McGregor and Mayweather in boxing.
Yeah,
that's the star power, man.
Jeez, you know what? I got no rebuttal to that.
And this is what I'm saying. I'm not dissing Islam and all these fighters.
Great fighters.
If Islam fought Cerrone, say, that would never be 1.3 million pay-per-view buys.
That'd be one pay-per-view buy because that all that would tune to watch that fight.
Jeez, Lesnar and Mir is still in there in the top 5 from UFC 100.
Although Nunes was up there at one point. Well. Nunes and Tate was up there.
No, 200 was meant to have been up there because it was meant to be Jones DC 2. But
that would have been massive.
That fight got cancelled. So I'll be honest, I don't know if UFC 300 does $1 million. I don't think it does.
UFC 300 will be lucky to get to 750.
That's crazy, isn't it?
I think UFC 299 might outdo a UFC 300.
Yeah, I do as well.
Oh, and then I cannot wait for the day to go, hey, look, everyone, Sugar Sean's a star. Yeah, let's have him versus Ilya. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Great.
That's crazy. Madness. Boys, we're not going to spend much longer on this. Got a couple of quick fire things I want to ask you. Firstly, there's rumors going around that Adesanya and Pereira are going to train. So I'm going to ask you both 2 questions regarding this. Yes and no. Jay, I'll start with you. Adesanya and Pereira training, does that mean there's 0 chance there'll be a third fight between them in UFC?
Say that again, because I just cut out a minute.
That's right. If Adesanya and Pereira start training together or do some training sessions together, does that mean there'll be definitely no third fight in UFC between them?
They're training. They want to train together, do they?
Yeah.
Maybe. Oh, I don't know. That's a sick training. I don't know. I think Pereira would fight his dad. I don't think he would. I don't think it would bother him. I'm not sure, man. I hate all this. We train together. We can't fight crap. Does me head in. I don't know. Probably though. I don't know if he's Pereira again. To be honest.
What about yourself, Luke? They train together. Does that mean it's a no-no?
Yeah, because Football Gospel mentioned it, and I think I have heard it. Pereira said if they were to train together, they both need to confirm they would never fight each other again.
Yeah, which makes sense.
However, I don't think that's going to be the case because I think they are going to fight again at some point, and it will be at light heavyweight for the belt when Izzy gets his middleweight title back. Because champ versus champ.
I think Izzy knows that in a fight he wants at 205. You know,
I think
that's me personally. That's what
I don't even know if Izzy can get up to 205. That's the killer. I don't even know if he can get up to that weight without looking bloated. Like,
I don't think Izzy can get bloated either. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't think he's got that. I don't think, you see John Jones.
Frame,
John Jones is bloated as a heavyweight.
He's got more chance of getting to 170 than he does to properly fill out as a 205.
Yeah, I agree. I actually agree.
And is he at 170?
That'd be him versus Leon. Woo!
I think Izzy might struggle if he stays at middleweight.
I'd like to see him see if he could move to 170.
He said that he couldn't.
I think he could. I just don't think he wants to. And I can understand it. If he's having success at 185, why kill your body? And the second question I'm going to ask on the same subject is, which fighter improves the most from training with each other? Izzy or Pereira? Luke, I'll start with you on that one.
Oh, what a question. Izzy. Because he'll learn how to check those leg kicks.
Jay?
Finally learn how to check those leg kicks.
I'll probably say Pereira because of Izzy's more experienced in MMA.
Okay.
So I'll probably say Pereira. So all Izzy's doing is making Pereira better. Yeah, I'd stay away. You know what I mean? That's all Izzy's doing is making Pereira better, man.
Yeah. Very true. And then finally, at the weekend, Mikhaev fought against, I actually can't, was it Perez?
Yeah, Alex Perez.
Alex Perez.
Pause.
And didn't have a great performance, did get the win though. And that division's a bit weird because Royval just lost to Pantoja, but just beat Moreno. Al-Bazi is out at the moment. Has Mikhaev done enough to get a title shot? Luke, I'll start with you on this one.
No. I watched that fight. I thought he was. I know he said that he was ill, but he looked awful.
Yeah, he wasn't
and
great.
I rate him highly. But he has a habit of he starts slow, then he gets the finish in the third. And I thought he was going to do it this round, in the third round, but I thought he wasn't great at all. He called out Rishi Sunak, so big props to him. But he called out, you know what, he deserved a title shot right off the back of that. But that's not how the game goes. No, he doesn't. I think he said that he's calling out Royval to fight in Manchester in July, which makes sense. For me, the way the division's sort of looking, I'd have Pantoja versus Nicolau, because Nicolau, I think, is not injured. It's not fought Pantoja. Makayev and Royval make sense. Number one contenders fight. And plus, if you've seen Pantoja's record against the rest of the top 15, it is disgusting because he's pretty much beat everyone barring 4 people. And that's Nicolau, Albazi, Makayev, who actually trained with Pantoja back end of last year, by the way.
Oh, interesting.
At ATT. So, yeah. No, he shouldn't. Haven't faced Brandon Royval, bit of a rivalry brewing. Something's cooking. So, yeah, makes sense. Have him headline the Manchester card or something, because that's been confirmed to be a fight night, not a pay-per-view.
Jay, you on board with that? Makayev versus Royval, number one contender spot in the UK?
Yeah, I heard a rumor that it might be Mokaev against Moreno. That's
that's a fight.
That's a fun fight.
That's a rumor I've heard. That might be in England, in Manchester as well, because the UFC want to go to the new Manchester Arena, don't they?
Yeah.
So that's a fight I've heard whispered about.
Can't wait to see what happens next. Before we sign off, though, I'm just going to go through the chat and say thank you to a few people. Shout out to Football Gossiper, Ottoman Turk, Danny with 1 N. Shout out to Franklin, Matty Jones, Hassan, Neil Gunner 93. Who else we got? We've got A9 in the building. Big up yourself. We've got Sadiq Edwards. Big up yourself, Sadiq. Best beard in the game. Who else have we got? Boo Ryder, as always. Bless up to you guys. If you haven't already, please do smash that like button. As I said, we'll be going very shortly onto Luke's channel. The link to that show is in the chat now, so make sure you click that link. Head over there. We'll be chopping up UFC 299, the preview. Thank you all for watching. This has been another episode of Combat Catch Up. Make sure you subscribe to Jamie's channel. Make sure you subscribe to Luke's channel. Links are in the description. And we'll see you for UFC 299, the watch along on Saturday, or should I say Sunday morning. People, thank you all for watching. Take care.